Restream. Welcome everybody, and today we have this background music, classical. So let's start the round around the world with Mr. Stephen Healy. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Marco, and it's good to be on Restream. I'm in Wiltshire in England. The sun has shone today. We're in for 2 more weeks of sunshine, so I'm happy. So that's me.
Perfect.
Jim
So,
Ziegler, Atlanta, Georgia. United States, rainy weather here. Gray clouds, but it's getting to be summertime. The new puppy's chewing up all the furniture. We've been quite frustrated, but other than that, it's good.
Maria.
Hi, I'm Maria, recruit from Ontario, Canada. The weather is glorious. I was actually at the lake yesterday. I walked about 4 kilometers. I was right in the water. People were swimming. They were in bathing suits. So that's the kind of weather we're having now. I think if you remember last week, I said it was going to rain. It was overcast, but it's just glorious. The weather is just glorious over here. Thanks.
Perfect. So even though, okay, I think Chris is made it. Are you there, Chris? No, too soon. So we are talking about weather, and I want to throw this challenge to you because you reminded about a crazy episode I had one day. It was summer. Okay, so the first topic. Later we will go to the topic I suggested last week, which is sharing a tradition from your country, the village, the town you live, or for instance, traditional season for you. But now I want, because you reminded me about something that happened once. We will talk about rainy, crazy experiences. Okay, because why? One day I was at home, and some years ago I used to cycle. Okay, it was a sunny South European summer day. Okay, and I grabbed my bike. I was in the street, and suddenly it came a rain, like, for instance, it was God throwing water. Whoa! And I got all wet, and it was something because it was by sudden. Because usually the rain starts slowly, drop by drop, and then it goes increasing and everything. It was like whoa. And at that moment, a friend of mine just passed across me, and he saw, and every time I see him, he talks about this. Look, do you remember that day that you were cycling? It was an amazing weather, sunny day, hot day, and suddenly it started raining, and you became like, because here we like to say, when we get wet, like to the bones, we like to say you're wet as a chicken. It's a saying here in Portugal. And so I had this dropping water.
You Portuguese melt, don't you?
Yeah, almost.
like the witch in the Wizard of Oz.
Kind of, yes. So let's share your wet experience with us.
I'm from the north of Manchester, 20 miles north of Manchester. Manchester has more rain than any other city in the UK, and areas north of that get even more. So it's always a wet day in Manchester. That means that it's wet in the winter as well as in the summer. And in the summer, we have a game called cricket. Have you ever heard of cricket?
Yes.
Anybody?
Oh,
okay, it's a famous sport in England. It's international, truly international. There is a World Cup, and there are teams from around what used to be the British Empire. We are going back a bit, but obviously match day comes, and the match is from 2 o'clock till 7 o'clock. 5 hours of cricket non-stop. entertainment and fun because there's a bar there as well. But especially in April, you get April showers, which means that it's going to rain. And the match starts on Saturday, and you can find yourself at the ground. It's pouring down outside. So the only thing you can do is to play cards. And the two teams who were opposing each other used to get together in one dressing room and play cards. I don't gamble, so I just sat back and watched. But playing cards in the rain is good fun. Hello, Chris.
Hello,
Hello, Chris.
everybody. I made it.
Hi,
I
Chris.
have a camera now.
Do you know here in Portugal, camera? It's said the same way as the town hall. Okay, so if you're saying now I have the camera, it means that you're the major there. Okay.
Oh, what an honor.
So welcome, Chris. So it's
Thank you.
it's time for you to share your rainy moment. Do you have any?
Well, I had a very awful rainy moment in Belgium. I was working at the VDAB in Brussels, and that was in a high building. And so on the 16th floor, we had a reunion, and the fire alarm came off. But it was summer, and I had only a t-shirt and a skirt. And we have to go immediately without something to the park in the direct omgeving of the VDAB to wait. And it was Dovo. They had found in one of the elevators a case with a clock therein. So it began raining. And we have to wait there. We were totally wet. We had no money to go to a cafe or something, or to go to a bar. We couldn't do anything. That was awful.
Good story. Good story.
Yes.
Let's. By the way, Chris, you're there. I think you have something to share with us. Some news coming around weekend or something.
Yes. That's some news from Somiflex, and Somiflex, that's a sort of institution that gives courses on social media. And I am one of the students, and like the Somiflex thing very much. And now that has asked me to give a short presentation of BeLive. So I can show my studio, a tour of the studio like Steven does, and make some extra promotion. And I have luck because BeLive is now on AppSumo. When there are people who are interested in BeLive, they can take a deal on AppSumo, or a better one, perhaps with a link from Steven. I don't know if that's if that's possible. But that would be amazing. And I will do my best for make that a great live broadcast, because that's happening live.
Excellent. Wonderful. Wonderful, Chris.
Yes.
Excellent. Bravo.
I
Bravo.
was glad for such an invitation.
Sure. You've come
So,
along.
Maria, you're in the spotlight.
Okay, well, first of all, I love rain. I love rain. We don't get as much as you do, Steven, but I love rain. For me, rain calms me. I look forward with the rain. I can relax. I don't have to be anywhere if I don't want to, and I just kind of just enjoy. Oh, I love this relaxing music in the background. Perfect. I mean, that's exactly how I feel when it rains. It just calms me right down, and I can really focus in on things. But I also love, you're gonna laugh at this, if I'm out cycling, I get caught in the rain, I have no problem with that. because I know it'll come home and dry off. So there's been many times when I've hiked in the rain because it's happened in the middle of the rainstorm, or I've cycled or I've walked in the rain. So, when we were children, it's not like people now, the parents drove them around. We would walk everywhere. And whatever the weather was, we took an umbrella or a raincoat or whatever it was. So I'm quite accustomed to all kinds of weather. So brings back wonderful memories of my youth. Thank you, Marco.
Perfect. Now let's bring Mr. Jim.
Okay. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. We have tornadoes here that accompany the storms. And I have many times seen a tornado go through a neighborhood and pouring down rain, and all of a sudden the roof flies off a house, and the tornado doesn't hit every house. It'll hit one, it'll bounce, it'll hit another one. And I've seen so many tornadoes, but the best rainy day story I have, Marco, is about 15 years ago, we were in Destin, Florida, which is the Gulf Coast, beautiful white sandy beaches. And all of a sudden, the sky fell open, black skies. My windshield wipers couldn't handle it. I had a 5-year-old in a car seat behind me and my wife, and I'm driving a big Lincoln Town Car, 20-foot long car. All the cars coming at me look like headlights coming out of the rain, if you can imagine. And I'm headed toward a puddle. And my wife said, stop. I said, what? She said, that's not a puddle. I said, yes, it is. I'm just going to drive through. It's a puddle in the road. She said, no, that's a river. I was driving into a river. My wife and I are arguing, that's just a puddle in the road. No, it's a river. You're driving the car into a river. Needless to say, I didn't. I hit the brakes and backed up. I was on a boat ramp.
Well, I think Jim, you wanted to write a new song after the Crimea River. It's Crimea River.
Absolutely.
Crimea River. So we have newcomers to the show. Welcome, Mr. Peter. How are you?
Hold on. Am I on?
You don't have to.
Yeah, you're on. You're on.
Okay, that's fine. Oh, what a joke. I'm in some mood. Never try to get on this on an iPad. It's absolutely ridiculous. So I'm back on my phone because the office is getting a new door in it. So there you go. Right. Worst night in the rain, is it?
Where's your hat?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, I can't stand the rain against my window. Right, I'll tell you my worst night ever. It was in England, and it was a place called Dartmoor. It was so bad that the Hound of the Baskervilles was made there. There was a prison there. Horrible place. If you escaped the prison, there was nowhere to go. But however, when I was 16 and a half, a boy soldier, we were trekking across Dartmoor. And we were soaked through, and I mean soaked through. It brings back memories. I'm having nightmares. We were lying in our tents. And I don't know if you've ever had this feeling. You wake up during the night, and in your sleeping bag with you is water, and it's eating up with your body. And we were all taken off with hypothermia. And the officer and the sergeant major are arguing, and the sergeant major won. He says, okay, sir, and your head be it. If somebody dies, it'll be down to you. I'm in charge of this camp for training, and I want him off. And he won. I go, someone at the door. I'll be back.
Okay.
Perfect. Harper, are you ready?
It's your turn, Harper.
Not sure what I walked into. Hello, everybody. Sorry, I was late. I was out talking to the neighbor about the wild animals and everything else we've had going through our yard. So, and mind you, it is hot. Forget the coffee. I've already had 1 cup of coffee, ice water. Mind you, it's 9 o'clock in the morning here. It's for you guys. It's 31. It's gonna be 38 today. But yeah, it's 87 degrees here at 9 o'clock in the morning. So yeah.
Too hot.
All of the nice, cool mornings. No.
Sure.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. I need to go get a haircut because it's too hot for hair this time of season. So I need to cut it a little shorter.
I have a trimmer. If you want,
I'm
I
not
can
going to shave my head like I did last year.
I can.
Yeah, last year I actually shaved my head a few times, and my girlfriend kind of looked at me like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "I'm like, well, it's too hot for hair," and she goes, "Don't ever do that again." So
Off limits.
Yes.
I can shave my hair, shave my head, and I have no problem, not having hair. But she's like, "No." She doesn't like it. She goes, "You're not in the business anymore."
Just to look at you.
So, yeah, she's like, "You're retired. You don't need to have a shaved head." So,
Right. Yes.
and she knew me. She knew me back in high school. So it's like she's like, "No, you got to have your blonde hair." And I'm like, "Blonde hair."
So, do you have any rainy memories, Harper?
Raining memories of good, bad, ugly,
Crazy
what?
or funny?
Crazy.
What? Crazy memories?
Yes.
Yep.
I got crazy ex-girlfriends.
No. With the rain, not.
Another show. That's another show.
Oh, my bad.
That's another show.
Gosh. No, not really. Nothing that comes to mind. If it comes to mind, I'll let you know.
Well, okay. I think Peter's story will cover your.
Yeah. All of
We're
us.
balanced.
Well, yes. So you're in the spotlight. Let's get back to the topic we talked last week, which is about a tradition in your village, in your hometown, in your family. What do you have to share with us, Harper?
Traditions that we had growing up, because I mean, here in Tucson, I mean, traditions here are, everything from Mexico. I mean, pretty much they have dance and all that kind of stuff. But for my family growing up, I grew up. One set of grandparents were from Germany. The other set of grandparents were from Denmark, and so we had. Certain times a year we would have certain, foods, we always ate things that other kids really didn't have all the time. And it's like, why do you eat that? And it's like, well, it's kind of tradition, I guess. But, we'd have a lot of German foods and a lot of, Danish foods. I was never a fan of fish, and growing up in the Seattle area, that was kind of an odd thing, but I think it was because my dad was kind of weird when it came to food. He would go out and get him and my older sister. I'm number 2 of 5. My older sister and him would go out and dig up clams at the beach, and then he would cook them, and it would stink up the whole house so bad that I was just like, I didn't want to eat it, and my mom didn't like it. And so my mom would order us pizza, and they'd eat seafood. But he would get my dad would eat like chicken hearts and chicken livers, and he would fry them, and so the house just stunk. Yeah. But yeah, it's no wonder that I'm not very adventurous when it comes to food. I go to a place, I like that, and that's it. but that was that was what we ate a lot of traditional food. If you didn't like it, you didn't eat. And so my mom kind of gave in, and but I was a really skinny kid. I would eat and eat and eat, but I would rather starve than eat some of that stuff. But
Okay. Yeah. Let's bring Mr. Stephen Healy to the highlight.
May I share screen?
Yes, of course.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to bring in the Chrome tab. Now, I live, as you know, in wonderful Wiltshire, close to Stonehenge, in a town called Devizes, which has a population. I'm just waiting to come back right now. Yeah, population of 23,000. In 2017, 3,500 people gathered in the town square, and I'll try and level that picture up so you get a better idea. That's the town square, and every year there is a tradition of a confetti battle. Now, it's a true story. It's the only confetti battle in the UK. There were others, but we've outlasted them all. And as I say, in 2017, 3,500 people actually joined in. It's half an hour of fun. Basically, there is, well, you won't believe me, but there is a confetti cannon. And at 8 o'clock at night, the confetti cannon is fired, and the children in the area, their main idea is to get covered in confetti, which is not too difficult to do. But for charity, everybody buys their own confetti and throws it at everybody else. As you can see, the fair comes to town, and it's just an amazing evening, finishing off with fireworks. It is a tradition. We couldn't do it last year, but we're hoping to do it later this year, and that's the Devizes Confetti Battle. Date to be announced.
I can see you in the picture, Peter. Stephen, I see you in the picture.
Good. I'm probably there somewhere.
It's in the center. Cindy's in the center.
For a small town, we have an events organising committee that organises things throughout the year. There's a carnival parade with floats going through the town. That's another annual event. We've got our own theatre company who are going to be performing in a couple of weeks' time, hopefully, fingers crossed. And the whole thing is that everybody in Devizes sort of gets together and supports. And it is a charitable occasion. So we're actually raising money for charity at the same time as getting totally covered in confetti. And the thing is, of course, I'll scroll back up to the picture, that even 3 and 4 days after the confetti battle, you can still find confetti somewhere in your clothing. Well, we know what confetti is at weddings. When you've got 3,500 people throwing confetti, you can't avoid it, and you're bound to keep finding it. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing screen. So that's my contribution from Devizes in Wiltshire.
Thank you so much, Stephen. Very good contribution.
Wow.
How long has that been going on?
They don't know precisely, but they can first recorded one is 1913. Wow! And it's just been carried on every year since then. So it's 108 years. Wow! Over 100 of them, and everybody just joins it. We all look forward to it. I mean, we've got our own, fairgrounds. We've got our own travelling fair, which is based in Devizes. So 3 times a year, they're in town, and they're here for 3 days at a time. So 3 weekends in the year when you can go to the fair, which is absolutely brilliant. As I say, for a small town, it bats above its weight, and there's always something going on.
Yeah. Yes. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Perfect. And next, Maria.
Oh my goodness, there's so many traditions in my life, right? I don't know which one to start, but I guess I would say because my background is my father was Polish, my mother was Italian, but my mother didn't have her family here, so it was Polish. We went to the Polish church and every Christmas we would have the whole family come, and all the wonderful foods, all the different kinds of pierogis and golumpkis, and we tried so many different kinds. I didn't realize there was sweet, pierogies, and there were sour pierogies, because everybody thinks pierogies are just, with potato and a little bit of sauerkraut, but oh no, they've got all kinds of pierogies. So we would have so much fun with my grandmother, my aunts and uncles coming over, and friends, and everybody called everybody else cousins, right? I mean, that's how it is with new immigrants coming to the country. Yes, we're all cousins, and all the kids came and everybody came. So that was very heartwarming. And the other tradition I had with my family, with my mother and my father, is every Sunday we would need to have a Sunday dinner. And so we continued that. I mean, even when I was growing up, we just continued doing that. We all looked forward to it. So it was a time we could all get together and relax and enjoy. And they were wonderful dinners, and they would help clean up afterwards and help my mom beforehand. So yeah, I have too many to go over, Marco, but I'll leave it at that. Really great memories. Thanks.
Perfect. And let's bring the other lady to the highlight.
Yes, I live in St. Nicholas in Belgium, and so we have two traditions. One of them is St. Nicholas. That's a saint who comes and who gives gifts to the children. And so on the 6th of December, all the children who are good children, not the bad one, are having little gifts and chocolate. So that's a very, very good tradition here in our city. We have also the House of Sinterklaas, where the people from all the countries, mostly Belgian people, can write letters to Sinterklaas, and they receive an answer. There are volunteers from the city who write answers to the children, so that's a very tough, very pleasant thing for children to have a letter from the saint himself. And the other tradition is balloons, Montgolfiers. We have a very great marketplace. And every year we have a week, the Peace Week, Vredesweek, and the balloons go off. That are special shaped balloons, like Eskimos, like animals, very, very tough things. And they have also balloons with fire. With the warmth of the fire, the hot is warm, and then the balloon is going up. And on the marketplace, you can, everything you buy something, you have a ticket. And there are some tickets who are loaded, so you can have a free balloon ride to somewhere in the country. That's a very tough tradition, but I have never won such a ride, and I don't want it because I am not so a fan of going so high. When I'm running, I give the ticket away to some friends.
So, talking about highs, let's bring the man from the Highlands, Mr. Peter.
Okay, so what I'm going to talk about today is a traditional food from the northeast of Scotland, Aberdeen in particular. Now, this has got three names, actually. It's called the Aberdeen Buttery, or it's called the roll, different from a Glasgow roll, it's an Aberdeen roll, and also we call it a rowie, right? It's quite world famous. People get them sent all over the world from Aberdeen because it reminds them of home. I tried to send them to John Upton one day, but it went off because of the meal strike. I told them to hold it back so it was rotten. Anyway, now, they're very salty. Can anybody tell me why they were so salty?
To preserve them. Preservatives.
It's a preservative because Aberdeen was, and the northeast of Scotland, was very much a fishing industry. And all the trawlermen went out to sea, and it was their staple food. It was made of 50% of lard, fat, and whatever else it's made up of. very salty. And they were I actually liked them at one stage, but very fattening. And then I met a guy one day when I went out, and I bumped into this guy who was doing my job. I got chatting, and he had invented the veggie rowie. So they've invented a bloody veggies get everywhere, that vegetarians and vegans. But there's actually a vegan rowie. Wow.
Wow.
And
Okay.
so it even get now. The reason I sent it to John Upton, I will do it again for him actually. It's because John's favourite detective, Stuart McBride, is from this area, Aberdeen. And if you're listening, John, you still send me the places, because I'm going to go up my bicycle and take pictures for John of the areas that are mentioned in the books. It's a murderer. I actually know the guy and I know his brother. And the rowie is mentioned in the books because it is fairly substantial. It was, but it's not so bad. And just in the papers the other day, it looked at all the bakers there's been in Aberdeen, and slowly but surely it's down to 2 bakers. I won't tell you why one of them went, because it was really bad news for the city. World famous bakery.
Oh.
And it was such a shame he was a paedophile.
Oh.
And that was the truth. And
Wow.
it just rocked the city. It rocked the city. And that's what happened. So that's the famous Aberdeen rowie. And just before I know I've been on it. Now, can you tell me what other food Aberdeenshire became famous for and it went worldwide? Do you know what it was?
No.
No.
Yep.
The deep
No, Peter.
fried Mars bar.
Oh, really? Oh, my.
Someone got it together and they put a Mars bar, covered it in fish batter, and cooked it, and it's world famous. There you go.
Wow. Wow.
Thought of that.
Different folks for different strokes, Peter.
Aye.
Deep fried Mars bar.
And just to add, if you look at my Facebook page there, I know some of you have, I'm not allowed to eat any of that stuff anymore because you'll see a nice, slim me that I've got a suit on after 4 years. I couldn't put it on, but I can now. You'll see a picture of me there today.
Wow.
I saw that picture. You look good, sir.
Yeah.
You look good.
Congratulations, Peter.
And
Great difference.
talking about fish, we know that there's a particular animal which loves fish, which is the dog. So that's pretty. Jim.
Oh, man. I don't have anything as exciting as a confetti festival. I don't have fried Mars bars. I mean, I don't have, but my family, we celebrated Thanksgiving. You know, and my parents, military, my dad was a military man, 34 years, U.S. Navy, E9. My dad, we picked up strays. Anybody that didn't have a place to be on Thanksgiving had as many as 30 or 40 people on occasion in the little house we grew up in. And my mother would be cooking. We'd have card tables with food and just people that anybody that didn't have a place to be, they would gather them up. And I can remember we would have turkey and believe it or not, red meat steaks and pumpkin pie and all sorts of traditional things. And I always used to love to pick on my dad. I always sat next to my dad. So my dad would conversationally, gregarious Zigglers, we're talking to everybody. And when my dad turned his back, I would grab his steak and take his plate and put an empty plate in its place with a bone in it. And he would turn around and he didn't remember eating that steak, and he'd go, yes. And today my wife and I, we don't cook Thanksgiving anymore. It's just us. So we go to the Ritz-Carlton Reynolds Plantation. If you ever Google that up, they have a marvelous buffet every Thanksgiving, and we take the dog and we go there, and they have caviar on the buffet, if you can imagine, and seafood and also, and they have a battle of the chefs. So that's what we do at Thanksgiving now, but that was what I grew up with.
Yeah.
But they don't have a battle of confettis.
No, we have no confetti battle.
That's
So, talking about battles, it's my turn. It's a tradition. It's a performative playing in the 5th of August at 5 p.m. It's
I'm not able to help with that.
a theater. I played for around 15 years, I think, and I'm gonna share with you. It's a imaginary battle between Charlemagne. I don't know the right to say it in English. It was that emperor. Yes,
Charlemagne.
that
Yeah.
yes. I think it was half German, half French. Okay, it was. Some people
The
say that
medieval
he was the guy who found Europe, and
okay.
and it was it's around the story that he was fighting Turkish warriors. Okay, and this play is inside the religious party here, so it has as well, even though it's kind of not religious, the message within the story, it's profoundly religious, because at the end it's Christians against Muslim, and at the end Christians win the battle. So I'm going to share a trailer. It's a short trailer. Okay, let me share the screen. Okay, it was the last year I made part of the play. Oops.
Now they're friends.
No more fighting. We can be friends now.
Yeah.
You got the idea. Yes.
Very
At the
nice.
end, yes, it ends with this dance. It's kind of celebration of the peace between the
Christians and the Muslims.
yes, and also every character it's a person from the village. Okay, not even amateur actors. Okay, I was, for instance, I'm the third, at least as I know, I'm the third generation of my family who took part on this. Okay, my grandparent, he was kind of director, bringing this to this folk and village perspective. Okay, my father took part as well, and so did I. So that I wanted to bring this to this tradition has more than two centuries. I think it should be here more even than 2.5 centuries. Okay, and during this time, I think just a couple of times it was not played. Last year, even though we had this COVID thing, they found a way to overcome, and they recorded something a little bit smaller with some special cautions, but they played it as well.
There's one way they could have made it better if they had confetti.
Well, yes.
That's
and the Aberdeen roll.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Mars bars.
Without a joke.
Mars,
Without
yes.
a joke.
Or they could have had English Morris men jumping in. Have you seen them? The Morris men.
No, no.
Oh, gee.
I would have loved to have heard the music. If there was any music with it, I would have loved to have heard the music with that.
Look up the Morris men in England.
No, I was talking about that play he was talking about, but I will look them up. Yeah,
it has a music. Let me see if I will find the music, because it's a traditional music as well.
It's not copyrighted, though, is it?
I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
Okay.
Let me see where I can find it. Okay, now here is the whole play. Okay, let me share it. That's the music, Maria.
Okay, I don't hear anything.
We don't hear it.
No, sorry.
The sound of silence.
I'm very
picturing an accordion. I'm picturing an accordion. Marco on the stage.
Shame on me.
Should
Now
have had confetti and
I'm
fried
sure that now you will be able to listen.
Yes.
Yep, we have sound.
There you go.
Yeah.
There's two musics.
Yeah.
There's a music for Christians and another one for Muslims of Turkey.
Okay.
Let me see if I can put
The
the other one. This is the other one. Okay, I think we are good.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, what should we talk? Okay, let's talk about food.
Oh, yeah. I'm getting hungry. Lunchtime.
Do you like any particular foreign dish?
Oh, yeah.
Does pizza
Indian.
count? Does pizza count?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay, tonight I'm having Hungarian chicken for my tea. Hungarian chicken.
Okay. Okay.
If it was during the communism, I probably not much of it.
I love all kinds of food, Marco, from all kinds of countries. I'm willing to try anything. I love tripe. I don't know if anyone here eats tripe or not, but I just made myself some tripe with some sauce, and it's just wonderful with nice rice. So I'll try anything. I'll try anything once. I won't eat insects. Sorry, I won't eat insects. I won't eat snakes. Okay, but I've had alligator. I've had alligator. When I was traveling and I was staying in Florida, I had to try that because I mean, how can you go there and not try some foods they have local, right? So yeah, I had that. So, yeah. Enjoyed
Could
it.
I have a screen share, please?
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, please.
I had alligator too. I was a bit of a
Not
bite
yet,
in it.
Jim.
Okay, I'm looking for it. Here it comes.
Okay. Let's see.
right.
And now we have.
There it is.
Let me
There it
see.
is.
Let me see. And now we have something to show you.
This is what I cooked last week.
Okay.
My wife and I cooked together.
Seafood.
Can you get it up? There it is.
Ta-da!
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Put it up.
it. Oh, I'm salivating. I'm salivating.
Okay, this is our a seafood boil with Cajun spices,
Oh,
and
lovely.
every one of the seafood has its own little net that you boil it in, and it's a rolling boil. It's got corn on the cob, potatoes, onions, large shrimp, snow crab,
can see
and
that.
andouille sausage. And it's a 45-minute cook, and there's oranges and lemons in there, and Cajun spices.
Wow.
And this is something. This was just last week, and we cook every weekend. We cook something, and I call myself Chef Alpha Dog.
Of course you do.
So,
How many?
yes, I do.
How many Michelin stars do you have?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. And
But-
Jim, how long did it take you to finish eating that? That's a lot of food over there.
We had it in 2 days. We actually have leftovers with that we put in a aluminum foil camp pack and heat up
Yeah.
the next night.
Yeah, makes sense.
So
Lovely.
we have we eat the seafood. The seafood we eat the first night, but there's potatoes and corn and onions and all the other stuff left, and we put it in a camp aluminum foil and respice it and heat it up the next night.
Lovely. Lovely.
So anyway, that's my cooking.
Wonderful.
I can see a cookbook on the way. Of your
Yes, the
cooking.
dog
You
cookbook.
and Debbie's cookbook would be a bestseller.
I would like that.
I'm
Yes.
gonna share a joke here from Portugal. It was
Okay.
this boy, a poor boy, who every day in school, teacher asked, "What did you had last night for dinner?" And everybody was saying, "I was good fish and everything." And he answered, "I had soup. I had soup."
Yeah.
And the other kids laugh at him. And one day he came to his father and said, "Look, father, you know, people laugh all the time because I just eat soup at dinner. Look, next time, tell them you hated lobster." Okay, I will. So the very next day, teacher was, "What did you? Oh, I hated fish. And you?" "Yes, I meat, good meat. And you?" Little John, because here when there's the funny character, it's only Little John. And
Yeah.
he asked, the teacher asked, "What did you hate?" "Yes, I hated lobster." And how much did you eat it? 2 balls.
Yeah, jokes here in America. It's always Little Johnny is the one.
Yeah, that's
So,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know a lot of those jokes. I just can't tell them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you can. Yes, please. Just you have. When it's time to say something that you should not, just let me know. Just put your hand up, and I will do this. Okay. And that's it.
Or just wait for the little orange live button to go out.
I love it.
That'll
you,
be
Chris?
for the paid subscribers.
Well, I like Italian and Greek foods, and I make my own lasagna with
Do you?
fresh tomato sauce and cheese sauce.
You make your own pasta? You make your own
Yes.
pasta? Really?
Lasagna.
Yeah.
I like it very much. It's a very good dish, and
Mhm.
I am alone, so when I make it, I have always something for the freezer, and on other days enjoy the same meal, because otherwise it's not so good to do that. And the other thing that I like is lamb with
lamb.
rice and with ratatouille. That's a
Oh,
French
ratatouille.
tomato sauce with peppers and all those things, and it's also a very good thing. They're
Lovely.
my favorite dishes. And then scampi's with curry sauce. It's also a thing that I like.
Oh, yeah.
We're cooking Dover sole tonight.
Okay.
Ah,
How are you going to
Yeah,
cook it?
Dover sole.
How are you going to make it?
We're going to deep fry
Can you
it.
can you
with
share
the-
your
with the
address in the private message team, please?
pudding. You're all welcome. Can you
Chris.
please
Do
come
you
on?
have a
You're all
long table
welcome.
for all of us?
Hop in
Just
the
a little bit
car,
too far
Harper.
away.
I'd love to have you guys over.
Jim lives in what
Something
Americans
very
call the South, so it's going to be deep fried.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. For sure.
There is a seasoning called Joe's Fish Fry, and they sell it on Amazon. That's where I buy it, Marco.
Yes.
Joe's Fish Fry. I saw it on Shark Tank. It is the most incredible, and it's not oily. It's a very dry rub for the fish, egg wash, and it sticks to the fish, and you deep fry it. It's very crispy and not oily at all. And Dover sole is an incredibly good fish. I like to eat fish, and we cook fish 2 or 3 times a week.
Oh.
You know,
Sense. Makes sense. Yeah.
and
I love
chicken the rest of the time.
Yeah. But no, your steaks too there. You love steaks too, don't you, Jim?
I am not as red meat as I once was before I had the cancer.
Oh, I see. Okay. That makes sense. That
After,
makes
after the
sense.
cancer, red meat and I are not agreeing with each other too much.
Okay. Okay. Good point.
Still cancer free, but
Good for you,
Good,
Jim. Good for you.
Perfect.
Glad to hear it.
Well, I like sushi. I don't know if
Ooh,
I
cook
love
sushi. I cook sushi. I make sushi.
Oh damn! I will mute you, Jim. I will mute you.
I order sashimi quality fish. I order from Oceanside Seafood here in the U.S. Oceanside Seafood. They send me fresh sashimi tuna, sashimi yellowtail, sashimi salmon,
Yeah.
and I cut my own sushi and make my own wasabi.
Oh my God.
Shame on you. Shame. I also have WhatsApp on my cell phone. It's the same, right?
Peter is saying I am a low carb eater now.
Peter.
Yeah.
Oh, he eats a haggis. Don't let him kid you. He's a haggis eater.
Do you like haggis, Peter?
Lutefisk.
I love haggis. I love haggis. It's so tasty.
When I was young, we used to be taken
I never
to-
needed anyone.
used to go to the local market, and my grandmother would take me. And they had a delicacy stall there. Now, this is Lancashire delicacies. This is not your normal delicacy. So you had cow eel, tripe, as Maria mentioned earlier,
I love it.
and black pudding. And that was part of the diet then. Today, I'm more likely to make a lasagna like Chris, or to do an English roast dinner.
Yeah.
Now, an English roast dinner is roast potatoes, cauliflower, cabbage, carrots, you name it, as far as the vegetables are concerned. And then you've got a choice. You can have either chicken roast dinner, a roast pork roast dinner, or the English favourite, which is the roast beef roast dinner. And it's just exquisite. And I've perfected my cooking skills over the years, and you're all welcome to join.
We need to make a festival.
Yeah,
We need to get together.
I love it. If only we could.
Who knows, Maria?
Time travel. You know, we have to get to the point with time travel that we can just hop from country to country. Everybody's house, we could go around the world. Who knows? That might be a possibility.
Make a tour. The live stream talks.
If it was like
tour.
Star Trek, we can all just kind of beam over to.
Beam me up. Yeah, that's what I'd love to do that.
I'd love to visit you guys. They would, have you visit us?
Yeah. I will buy a boat.
Marco, do you like Thai food? I cook Thai food too. I do Asian food.
I love everything. There's nothing I don't like. You name it, I'm salivating.
So, with this so good advertising, Stephen, do you want to wrap up our show and give us the teaser for next week?
Thank you, Mark. I haven't a clue what we're going to do next week, but I'll let you know.
Okay, that's good.
That's okay. It's a surprise.
From Maria, from Chris, from Harper, from Jim, and from Marco, it's goodbye from us. We'll see you at the same time next week. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.